Good morning, everyone. This is Professor Vincent Torre Bongolan. Let's talk about the transfer of the PhilHealth funds and the order of the Supreme Court. The recent order of the Supreme Court directing the government to return the 60 billion PhilHealth fund that had been transferred to the National Treasury raises significant constitutional and legal issues. The decision strongly suggests that the transfer lacked legal basis, particularly because PhilHealth still had numerous unsettled obligations, unpaid insurance claims, and pending reimbursement to hospitals, doctors, and members. Under established principles of public finance, excess funds refer to the money remaining after all statutory obligations have been fully satisfied. Therefore, transferring 60 billion while PhilHealth was still burdened with substantial unpaid claims contradicts the definition of excess. And this indicate a misuse or misallocation of funds. All right, so let's talk about the possible violations. Number one, there is a possible constitutional violations. In the 2025 national budget, Congress reportedly did not allocate funding for PhilHealth, despite the constitutional mandating that healthcare must receive the highest priority, along with education and other essential services. If the national government diverted PhilHealth funds without legal authority and without legal no regard to the constitutional priorities, this action constitutes a violation of the Constitution's policy on health as a priority expenditure. Number two, the possible liability for malversation or misuse of public funds. As you know, the money that was lost, no, was used and allocated in the DPWH for their pipeline projects, which in return became ghost and substandard materials was being used to flood control projects. So there might be a possible malversation of public funds. So since the Supreme Court has ruled that the 60 billion must be returned to PhilHealth, questions of accountability naturally arise. If the transfer was made despite PhilHealth's outstanding liabilities, the act may fall within the scope of the malversation of public funds that was in clearly stated and discussed in Article 217 of the Revised Penal Code. Technical malversation, Article 220, use of public funds for purposes other than those for which they were intended. O, di ba? As you know. Given these circumstances, responsible officials may need to explain their roles in authorizing or facilitating the transfer. Of course. Number three, the possible accountability of public officials involved. According to statements on record, the former PhilHealth CEO reportedly consulted the former Finance Secretary Ralph Recto regarding the transfer of funds, the former Solicitor General Menardo Guevara regarding its legal basis. If such consultations occurred, these officials may reasonably be asked to clarify whether they issued advice, what legal basis they relied upon, and whether due diligence was exercised in protecting the public funds. These clarifications do not presume guilt. Yes, of course. They are part of normal accountability mechanism following an adverse Supreme Court ruling. So kung inyong napanood mga kaibigan, ang naging pag-interpellate no kay o pag-imbestiga kay dating CEO ng PhilHealth na si Mandy Ledesma during the Quadcom hearing, if I were not mistaken, Quadcom or Senate hearing, I forgot. But the question is, dito po niya inamin na sa utos ng Pangulo na ilipat ang pondo ng PhilHealth ay ginawa niya ang kanyang makakaya as a good soldier. So therefore, para mangyari ito, he consulted the Finance Secretary Ralph Recto and the former Solicitor General Menardo Guevara. So kailangan pong ipaliwanag nitong dalawang taong ito ang naging basis nila, no? Ano ba yung ipinayo nila talaga kay Mandy Ledesma? Number 4, the culpable violation of the Constitution. Possible that there is a culpable violation of the Constitution. This offense is impeachable offense po ito na maaaring maging grounds laban kay Pangulong Marcos Jr. If evidence shows that the President directly ordered the transfer of the 60 billion PhilHealth Fund contrary to constitutional principles, statutory obligations, or PhilHealth's legal mandate. This could fall under culpable violation of the Constitution. One of the grounds for impeachment under Article 11, Section 2 of the Constitution. The statements attributed to officials, including the testimony that decisions were made by order from above, may further require investigation to determine the chain of command and the legality of the actions. So, malinaw mga kaibigan na mayroong violation sa ginawang ito ng gobyerno. Kasi kung wala pong violation, ibig sabihin, hindi mag-uutos ang Korte Suprema na isauli ang pondo ng PhilHealth. Ngayon, pinag-uusapan ito at mainit-init pa. Ayon kay Congresswoman Janet Garin, ay isasauli na po ang pondo ng PhilHealth na 60 billion. Pero saan kukunin ang pera? Ibig sabihin po ni Congresswoman Janet Garin, popondohan nila ang PhilHealth sa 2026 national budget. So nasaan doon yung pagsasauli? Nasaan doon yung sinasabing isasauli ang pondo ng PhilHealth kung ang pondo ay manggagaling lamang din sa appropriations for the next fiscal year? Diba? Ibig sabihin, yung pondo na 60 billion ay hindi isinosole, kundi pinondohan mo lamang. Kung inyong matatandaan, nitong nakaraang fiscal year 2025, tinanggalan po ng pondo ang PhilHealth. Very vocal po si Grace po, natanggalan ang PhilHealth. Ano po ang kanyang dahilan? Para bigyan ng leksyon ang mga opisyal ng PhilHealth. So hindi po pinondohan ang PhilHealth. No? Pakinggan ninyo si Grace po. Ulitin ninyo yung kanyang sinabi. Hindi pinondohan ang PhilHealth nang sa gayon ay mabigyan ng leksyon ang mga opisyal nito. Ngayong 2026, para mabayaran at maibalik ang 60 billion, ay popondohan na lamang daw ngayong 2026 national budget. Tama ba yun, Congresswoman Janet Garin? Kung hindi ka naman napaka-ipokritang bobo ka, that's impossible. Kayo ang nagnakaw, tapos kukunin ninyo sa pondo ng bayan ang pambabayad? Hindi po pagsusoli ang tawag dyan. Hindi po pagsusoli ang tawag dyan. Kaya dun sa mga naniniwala pa rin, sa mga loyalista, sa mga dilawan o pinklawan, putang ina ninyo. Napakabobo ng inyong understanding, ng inyong comprehension. Wala kayong critical thinking. Halimbawa, binibigyan kayo ng inyong nanay ng baon araw-araw. Ngayon yung baon na yan, ginamit ninyo into something else na hindi po nararapat. Ngayon sabi ng nanay mo, nasaan yung ibinayad ko, yung binigay ko sa inyo na pambayad mo ng tuition? So para mabayaran mo at maipon mo yung pantuition na ginastos mo sa ibang bagay, ay iipunin mo yung binibigay sa iyo ng nanay mo. Sasabihin mo, ay mapantuition ko uli. Ganun ba yun? Kinukuha mo lamang din yung pambayad mo sa kinuha mo doon sa ibinibigay sa'yo? Yan po ang gustong sabihin ni Guarin, ni Garin. Second, ano po itong sinasabi ni Senate President Tito Soto? Nauna na kami. Bago pa ang kautusan ng Korte Suprema ay naisauli na namin ang 60 billion pesos. Ano ka, tagapagsalita? Utang ina mo ka, Soto? Gagaguhin mo ang tao? Kung naisoli na yan, nasaan ang ebidensya? Nasaan ang money trail? Nasaan ang resibo? Nasaan ang transaction number? Ipakita mo sa publiko rather than just your voice. Animal ka. Ipakita mo ang resibo, Tito Soto. So, guys, these are the possible offenses. No? And sa part ng Pangulo, ito po ay impeachable offense.